Hello, my name is Diego Castillo. My code number is 00125014. This is my oral exam for English Level 7A. Today I will be talking about the English-speaking countries and their nationalities, as well as the countries that use English as their official language. I will start with the most well-known English-speaking countries around the world. So, first, Canberra is the capital of Australia. People from Australia are called Australians. A Canadian is from Canada. Toronto is the largest city in Canada, but Ottawa is the capital of Canada. French is also spoken in Canada. Over here, England, Wales, and Scotland and Northern Ireland are all part of Great Britain. The nationalities are English, Welsh, Scottish, and Northern Irish, and all of these englobe the British. Now, Americans are also native English speakers. Washington, D.C. is the capital of the United States of America, which is also known as the USA or America. A South African is from South Africa. Africa is the most southern country in Africa. Now, people from New Zealand are called New Zealanders, formally and informally are called Kiwis. The capital city of New Zealand is Wellington. So, English is also an official language in Singapore for Singaporeans, India for Indians, and many other Pacific islands such as Fiji, Tonga, and Samoa. Less well-known English-speaking countries that also include Zimbabwe and Jamaica. All in all, there are about 70 countries which use English as their official language. Many of these countries have also more than one official language, like India or Singapore. So, English is a very popular language, but is not the most common language in the world. Chinese, French, and Spanish all have more native speakers than English. It is strange to think that there are more English language learners than native English speakers. All of these countries above speak slightly different varieties of English. For example, there is Australian English, British English, and American English. Each country which uses English as an official language changes slightly. Now, I will be talking about my personal experience with the English-speaking countries. First of all, I want to say that I visited the United States for 2 times in my life. The first time I was 13 years old and I went to Orlando, Florida. And the word that I may have to describe this trip was magical or hot, because the weather there in summer is really, really hot. I may compare it to a steam bath in here. Other thing that really impressed me about this trip to Florida was the extremely great and huge presence of Hispanic people in this state. To be honest, there was around 70 to 80% of Spanish speakers. So I was really used to it, and I didn't have actually to speak a lot of English. Other thing that really impressed me about Florida, it was the great management that authorities and people kept on the streets. I mean, there was a lot of it was really clean to be there, and the city was really clean. Now, the second time I visited the USA was a year ago. It was really impressive because I visited New York City, and what really impressed me about the city that it was extremely cosmopolitan. It was a huge oversized city, and the environment there was totally urban. Another thing I may say about the USA is that most of the English teachers that I had come from the USA, and I find this really good because in my opinion, American people have the most neutral and understandable accent. Now, the second country I'll be talking about, and I feel more familiarized with, is England or Great Britain, or the United Kingdom, as you may call it, because it had a great impact in the course of my life. Because of England, it was that I started loving football, because when I was 10 years old, I watched the UEFA Champions League final of the 2005 and saw how Liverpool won the cup against AC Milan, losing 3-0 on the halftime. So I started loving soccer, and I started buying a lot of jerseys. In fact, I have a lot of them. This one here and this one here that belong to Liverpool Football Club. And also my favorite band belongs to England, as you can see up here. The Beatles is my favorite band. So this is how English-speaking countries have impacted my life in many ways. Thank you.